So they're called goals because you win by making them. When you are going to do anything in your life, whether it's in Toastmasters or outside of Toastmasters, you want to succeed. Whether it's in your career, whether it's in your education, whether it's in your family life, your social life, etc. You want to succeed. Well, how do you go about succeeding? I don't think Steve Jobs or Bill Gates or Barack Obama or anybody just said, you know what, I'm going to go out there and I am going to win. It just doesn't happen. You need to know what it is you're going to do. With Toastmasters, there's a lot of help they give us. The entire program is laid out for us to follow. So it gives us all sorts of information. And it says, if you follow this plan, this is how you will succeed. You will become a better speaker. You will get this certain skill set, whatever it happens to be. However, even in Toastmasters, just because the plan is there doesn't mean that it is very straightforward necessarily, that it's very obvious exactly what it is you have to do. So you need to come up with goals. What is it that you want to achieve? In Toastmasters, as an individual, with the current or the old program, it is Distinguished Toastmaster. That is the highest goal there is to achieve. Do you want to do that? Not everybody does. There's two aspects to the program. There's communication and leadership. Some people are interested more in the leadership. Some are interested more in the communication. Some people will do just communication and that's it, not worry about the leadership part. Some people will do the communication because it's more perfunctory. It's something that's just required to reach that highest level of DTM and get that status, to put it out there on your resume, to have it, that credential. So you need to figure out what it is you want to do and how you're going to go about doing it. You know you've got different books to work out of. You're going to start, everybody starts with the CL and the CC. You've got to work your way up from there. But what is it that you really want to do? Where, and how much time do you have, or how much time do you want to take to succeed with your goals? And that's why you need to set goals and plan on how to complete them. This program, Goal Setting and Planning, tells us successful leaders focus on what they want to achieve. They know what they want, they devise ways to get it. Seems pretty straightforward, maybe a little insipid. So you really need to ask yourself, what is it that you want? What are your goals? Not just in Toastmasters, that's obviously why we're here, but anything. Take a goal. Think about a goal that you want to achieve. It could be weight loss, it could be something in your career, it could be a hobby that you're wanting to take up, it could be a vacation you're wanting to go on. What is it going to take to make that happen? It could involve money. Well, obviously that means you need to make sure you've got a job that's going to achieve that, or it just simply means you have a job and you need to save for it, or you're willing to take out the debt and pay it off later. Is it a career goal, something that you need an education for, that you need to get work experience for? Forgoing the whole, you need a job to get experience, and you need experience to get a job part. But whatever it happens to be, there's some way you can get it. So think about that. What is it that you're wanting to get, and what are the steps it's going to take to get there? Each of those steps is going to be one of your goals. A goal is a specific objective. What is that objective for that one thing? You're going to go on vacation. Well, you need to know where it is you want to go. I'm sure you probably already have that destination in mind. Well, how are you going to get there? Is it someplace close by? Is it someplace far away? You're going to need to travel one way or the other. Travel is going to involve expense. Might also involve a passport. You never know. Depends on where you're going to go. It may ask for special permission. You may need reservations. Where are you going to stay when you get there? Is it going to be at a hotel? Is it going to be at a friend's house? Are you camping? Are you backpacking? What is it that's going to happen when you get there? How much time is this going to take? Do you have this time available in your schedule? Whether it's your work schedule, can you take that amount of vacation? Is it going to interfere with other things in your life? Those of us who have kids, there's graduations, there's birthdays, there's holidays. There's always something going on. We need to figure out how we're going to get that to fit. So you take all of these different things and you figure, I need to account for each and every one of these. And each one of those is going to be a goal. And you need to figure out, within that goal, what are the steps to make that happen? And the whole thing becomes your plan. Once you know what your goals are, what your ultimate goal is, what are the goals to achieve that? What are the steps to achieve that? Okay, that becomes your blueprint. That becomes your plan for achieving these goals. Somebody builds a building, they don't just say, okay, well, let's go build something that's 20 stories high, it's glass and cement and steel, and I'll be back in 3 months, and I'll write you a check for $1 million. That's not going to happen. That's not, the goal may be to have a nice office building, but that is not a plan. So there's a few things to think about when it comes to your goals. Whether you're going on vacation, whether you're building a building, whatever it happens to be. First of all, they have to be specific. What is it that you're trying to achieve, and what is it going to take to get there? You need to be very specific about what it is. It's not just, well, I need airline reservations. Well, that's too vague. My son is planning on coming out here for a friend's wedding around Christmas time. Very, very expensive to fly around Christmas time. If you flew at the beginning of December, it'd only be a couple $100. Closer to the wedding date, it's $600 to $800 for a ticket, for a round trip ticket. That makes a huge difference. It's not just, am I going to get a ticket? Also, you need to book way in advance if you're going to be booking around a holiday. So these are the things that he's needing to know now. Luckily, he's got 4 or 5, well, I guess, 6 months notice was fine, 5, 6 months notice to be able to do that. So he needs to come up with a plan. He needs to come up with the steps to achieve this goal. Does he need to start saving money now? Can he just throw it on a credit card? Does he need to shop around? Can he use Priceline? There's all sorts of different things you have to do, but you need to be very specific so you know that you can complete whatever that one step is to achieve your overall goal. When you're working as a team, especially in Toastmasters, where you've got a club, you've got a committee of officers, you've got the entire members of the club, whether you're working on a service project, whether it's Boy Scouts or whatever it happens to be, it needs to be measurable. It's not just, go get this done. When do you want to get it done? How much is it going to cost you to get it done? How many man hours is that going to take? You may say you want it done in a month. Well, if you're expecting this to take 1,000 man hours, that's 250 hours in a week. How many people do you have assigned to this project? That's a lot of people. Maybe a month is not really achievable. So maybe you need to figure out what is a better way to do this and how can I achieve this metric? What is it that I'm trying to do? It has to be action oriented. It can't be vague. Like I said, don't just say build me a building, make it steel, metal, and concrete. Okay? And it needs to be, how is it you're going to do these things? Tying some of these things together has to be realistic. You can't just say, go do this, I want to do this. If it's not specific, it can't be realistic. If it's not measurable, how are you going to know when you're done? If it's not action oriented, if you don't know who's going to do what, how is it ever going to, how are you ever going to get anybody to do it? So it's not going to be realistic at all. And time bounded. Anytime you have a project, you need a certain amount of time. I think that sort of ties into the measurable aspect. But if you notice, this also gives you an acronym, SMART. I'm sure a lot of us have heard this before. Goals have to be SMART: specific, measurable, action-oriented, realistic, and time-bound. So if you're going to implement your goals, though, you may have an individual goal. However, the goal may be for the club, or even in your own success. You're wanting to reach DTM like I am. That didn't happen just because of me. That happened because of the club. That happened because I was a district officer, which meant I had to go talk to somebody else and say, I would like to be an area director. I would like to do one of these other things. So that involved a lot of other people. I had to write my goals down. I had to figure out what these things are. I've got a few more to attain. I figured, what do I have to do to achieve it? That's sort of figuring out the details of everything. And I've got to regularly review the progress, which is one place when it comes to my DTM, I've sort of failed in the last year. I haven't really paid attention to it. I need to focus on that, and that's one of the things I'm planning on doing going forward. So what does the planning process do for you? It reinforces your goals. It makes everybody more future-oriented. Basically, that's your timeline, making sure you're sticking to it. If everybody knows what they're doing, what the requirements are, they can make decisions on how to make that happen. And to make sure you're using your resources wisely. Like I said, one of the key ones is manpower. If you're not doing this on your own, if you're involving other people, you need to make sure that everybody is getting done what you need to get done when they need to get it done. So there's 5 steps to planning. I think I've talked about a lot of these things already. You establish strategies. What is it you want to do? You set your timetable because it has to be time oriented. You assign responsibilities. And the last thing is the one a lot of people forget. Anticipate obstacles, because something's going to happen. DTM in particular, you need to have a district office position. What if they tell you no? Why did they tell you no? You need to then overcome that and figure out and have a plan. Do I have enough experience? Do people even know who the heck I am? When I come to them saying, hey, I'd like to do this, if they don't know who you are, if they haven't seen you at district events, then you're going to need to bring references so that way people will know who you are and what it is you're wanting to do. So that way you can modify the plan as necessary. Let me throw this in here. I was almost going to take this out, but especially for Sarah's sake, part of everything we do in Toastmasters as an individual benefits the club, and what we do as a club should benefit the individual. The reason for a Toastmasters club is for the members. That's why the club is here, is so that way we can succeed. So by doing everything within the program, by setting those goals within the program, you'll have that. Now this is what I'm hoping to do over the next year. Goal setting plus planning equals a successful leader. I've held leadership positions. That's not a problem. However, this next thing I'm wanting to do, this DTM, it's going to take a while, it's going to take some work still, and there's a few key points I've got to do. So I've got to set my goals, I've got to come up with a plan, I've got to get other people involved to help make sure that's successful. And that's why you win, by making